When I first started collecting action figures, I started with a discounted bargain bin Brock Lesnar Elite figure. To me, it was just a cool looking figure. It came with a Suplex City t-shirt, and it was only like 14 bucks. So I was like, yeah, I'll give this a try. And one thing led to another. I really got into collecting, but a lot of times I didn't know what I was getting or what my preferences were. So I want to create a guide for you new collectors to show you what to look for and to give you, a good expectation of what to expect as far as price, articulation, details, so on and so forth, so that you don't have to learn the hard way and you don't have to try to guess and figure out, what you like in an action figure. So in this first edition, I want to explain and talk about the difference between Mattel WWE basic figures and WWE Elite figures. These are both from the same company of the same character, Finn Balor. Now, if you look at them, you'll notice a few differences right off. Things, like I said, I didn't even, realize because I was a brand new collector. Started one figure. And so the first thing that really jumps out, to me at least, is the articulation. Primarily the legs. With your basic figure, you're at around a $10, $11 price point. And so it's not going to have the same articulation. If you look at the legs, what we have is we go back and forth. There is no horizontal movement, nothing like that, just straight back and forth. You have a bend in the knee, and back when I first got this one, you actually had an ankle joint. And that's something that as basics progressed, try to say over the last 4 years, now it's just an individual boot without this ankle rotation. And so and then the arms, we can go horizontal, and that's on a ball joint, but we only have single jointed elbows. And so that is the basic articulation. Like I said, when I first got into them, these were around $10. Now they're going anywhere from $11 to $12 per basic figure. Now let's look at his Elite counterpart. The Elite, when I first started collecting them, they were about 15 bucks a pop. Now I think they go for around 22. And so let's look at the articulation. We'll start with the legs on the basics. So yes, we have the forward and backward like on the basics, but it's on the ball joint. So you get side to side motion as well. So you can do more, you can give it more life in your posing. You can have him crouch a little bit. You could get him to put on a sharpshooter. Get him in all the wrestling positions that you see on your TV. And then as we go down here and we look, let me get this elbow pad up. We have single jointed knees, which the knee pads really get in the way of. But one cool thing is on the more modern Elites, not only do you have this motion right here, but you have double jointed knees and double jointed elbows. And those are going to be on, I would say, the Elites from the last year or so, I noticed. But here we only have single joints. But another difference here is you look on the arm, between the shoulder and the elbow, you have two joints. Shoulder, elbow. On this guy, the Elite, we have shoulder, elbow, and what do we have here? We have a cut between the bicep and the shoulder, so you can get even more expression and more movement out of these action figures, and you can put them in positions that you just don't get. You can get them crouched down. You can have them kneeling on a knee, arms extended out. You have so much more articulation The heads are the same. They're on a ball joint. And so you get pretty much the same motion from the heads. You look at the actual look of these figures. Again, the basic lower price point. And so you'll notice that the face is a little bit slapdash. They didn't, with the painting, I would say definitely, they didn't do a whole lot of detail. You almost have a flat matted paint for the beard, for the mustache that is haphazardly thrown on. It still looks like Finn Balor, but if you take a look at this face and this face, you will see that there is a major difference. We have more freckling of the stubble, and it's shaded going from the stubble to the actual beard. And we have levels here on the hair. It's a fade that is tapered, and it goes from light to darker as the fade goes up. And so there's a lot more detail between the elite head and the basic head, and the same with the torso. We have, it's a slight difference. Of course, this torso bends back and forth. This torso does not. But also, if you look at this torso right here, it has more musculature definition. You can see actual striations in the chest. And then as we go down to the gear, this is a flat kind of matted paint along with the sleeve. Very basic, very drab. But here we have shading. It reflects the light as his gear actually would. And you can actually see the wrinkling to kind of give it a cloth effect. So there's a lot more care that goes into the design and painting of the elite action figures. Let's take a look at the boots. The boots, you can see slight variations. We have the kick pad. That's going to be this front piece right here. It goes here and here. That is overlaid over the boot, but you see it's all one basic color. I mean, if you look at this figure, there are two colors, skin tone and a flat black. Okay, now we look at these boots right here. We have the kick pad, which goes from here to here, but it's delineated with black paint, so you can actually see the difference on the kick pad and the boot, which is in gray. And we have further embossed designs along the side. A lot more care, a lot more effort, and a lot more detail went into the creation of this look right here. And so in a nutshell, I mean, and also you look on the back here, we have a blank canvas, and we have Finn Balor with the logo here. And, there are other slight differences. Like I said, you can see, we go on and on all day nitpicking, but that's just the general idea of what you get with each one. Also, the basics, you will be able to delineate those because the basics come generally on a card with a bubble pack that sticks out around the actual action figure. So you're going to have the card, and you're going to have the bubble pack with a flat card. Your elites, they're going to come in boxes, and they come with different attires. This one, it came with multiple hands that you can replace, take the hands on and off fairly easily. Some come with multiple heads, and this one came with a jacket, a leather jacket, kind of a stiff rubber jacket. It's hard to get on and off, but that's going to be another difference between the basics and the elites. Now, these rules aren't hard and fast, Sometimes you get an elite that has the elite articulation and just the action figure. Sometimes you get a basic that has a ring jacket. Um, but what we talked about there is the main difference between your basics and elites and the price points. Um, to me, if I'm going to decide to get a basic, it's either going to be an attire that I don't have in elite form, or something to give a kid, something they can beat around. This you know pendulum motion of the leg. It's going to be a lot sturdier and a lot. It could take a beating much more than this ball joint. Oh yeah, and there's a thigh cut as well. I forgot the thigh cut. But it'll be able to take more of a beating than this guy. Um, and so this is something I would definitely get in the hands of a kid and let them, play with, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper. So, these aren't going to appreciate in value. So you don't have to worry about your kid beating the thing around and then, missing out on some big money. But I look at it this way: if you're collecting these things for the money, then you're in the wrong racket. Because yeah, occasionally I'll come across a figure I'll buy, and it will go up in price. I have a couple that are worth quite a bit, but for the most part, they don't appreciate that much. And wrestling is a fickle business. If a guy's on a hot streak, or the talk of the town, the figure might jump temporarily, take advantage of the heat the guy's getting. Well, when that dies down, you'll be able to get them on eBay for a couple of bucks. So I don't buy for future value. I buy because I really dig something. And like I said, we'll get into more details and what's going on with the new elites and the new basics. Actually, they're coming out in 2024, and this is something that will definitely get me buying more basics. But the new basics, your Walters, other guys I've seen, LA Knights, they do not have this back and forth motion. No, they have ball joints like the elites. They're going to be a little bit more snug, and you're not going to get the thigh cut. You're not going to get the rotation on the foot, but you are going to be getting that ball joint, so you can actually, get them posed in some wrestling moves. You're not going to get the torso bend either, and so that is an exciting thing that is happening with the Mattel Basics. You can find these figures, like I said. Your basics are going to be on a flat card, protruding bubble wrap, in the $10 to $12 price range. You can find them at Walmart, Target, and Big Lots. Big Lots usually has a great deal on them. Your elites are going to be found in the same places. I've even actually seen them at Walgreens, but their prices are ridiculous at Walgreens. But they're going to come in a box with a window display. Usually have multiple tires, multiple heads, multiple hands, and you're going to see a lot more detail. So that is the difference. So when you go out to those stores, you know what you're getting, you know what to expect, and you can decide, is it going to be something I want to leave on the card or display somewhere static? That's going to be your basic, or give it to a kid. Or is it going to be something I'm going to use for photography? To actually get guys in holds and actually try to create some of those wrestling moments. That's going to be the elite, or in a future edition, that's going to be your ultimate edition. So if you enjoyed that look at the difference between your basic and your elite action figures, stay tuned to this channel, because my next video, I will be adding a new player to the mix, the Ultimate Edition, which is a whole nother beast unto itself with articulation and appearance. So anyway, I will see you guys in the toy aisles. You guys be easy and happy hunting for them figs.